Chapter 1. The Mysterious Map. Benny the Bunny's burrow was a cozy, cluttered place where secrets often lay hidden beneath layers of leaves and soft earth. Today, as the morning sun filtered through the small opening at the top of his home, casting golden beams that danced across the floor, Benny found himself caught up in an unexpected adventure. He had been rummaging through a particularly dusty corner when his paw brushed against something unfamiliar, a brittle, yellowed piece of parchment. At first, Benny thought it was just another remnant of old adventures past, a forgotten drawing, or perhaps a crumpled note from one of his many escapades. But as he carefully unfolded it, he realized with a flutter of excitement that this was no ordinary scrap of paper. It was a map, a meticulously drawn map with intricate lines leading to places unknown, marked by symbols and mysterious landmarks. At its center were two bold words: Rainbow River. His heart thumping with curiosity and anticipation, Benny knew he couldn't keep this discovery to himself. He needed to share it with his friends, the ones who would understand the thrill of such a find and be just as eager to follow where it led. Without another moment's hesitation, he hopped out of his burrow, clutching the map tightly. The path to the big oak tree was well-trodden and familiar to Benny. As he bounded along, the forest around him came alive with sights and sounds. The trees were whispering secrets in their rustling leaves, while birds tweeted melodies that seemed to echo his own excitement. Sunlight dappled through the canopy above, creating patterns on the forest floor that shifted like magic underfoot. When he arrived at their meeting spot, a grand old tree whose gnarled roots formed natural seats, Lucy the Ladybug was already there. She sat perched on a low-hanging branch, her bright red shell glistening in the sun like polished rubies. "Benny," Lucy called out in her high-pitched voice as soon as she spotted him. "You look like you found something marvelous." "You won't believe what I've got," Benny replied breathlessly, holding up the map for her to see. Just then, Sammy the Squirrel scampered down from higher branches where he'd been gathering acorns for his winter stash. His bushy tail twitched with interest as he joined them. "What's all this fuss about?" Sammy asked, peering over Benny's shoulder at the map. "It's a treasure map!" Benny exclaimed triumphantly. "A treasure map?" Sammy echoed incredulously, yet unable to hide his growing curiosity. Lucy leaned closer for a better look. Her tiny antennae quivered with excitement as she examined the faded lines and cryptic symbols. "Where does it lead?" "To Rainbow River," Benny said with a wide grin, "and I think we should follow it." Before they could discuss further details, Tilly the turtle ambled into view at her own deliberate pace. Her shell gleamed an earthy green in stark contrast to Lucy's bright red spots. "Hello, everyone," Tilly greeted them warmly as she settled beside them with her usual gracefulness despite her slow movements. "What are you all huddled over?" "We've found an adventure," Sammy declared excitedly before anyone else could respond. Tilly regarded them with gentle amusement, but also genuine interest. She had always been known for her wisdom and practicality, traits that balanced out Sammy's impulsiveness perfectly within their little group dynamic. As Benny explained how he'd come across the map in his burrow earlier that morning, and what potential wonders might await at Rainbow River, their excitement became infectious even among themselves. Despite having heard only fragments of a rather than full stories told properly yet still feeling partakers already, somehow nonetheless two now equally invested, sincerely, truly, fully committed, wholly, unquestionably decided, absolutely resolved, undoubtedly determined, irresistibly drawn, captivated, compelled, fascinated, enchanted, bewitched, entranced, spellbound, mesmerized, enthralled by possibilities. Endless possibilities, limitless opportunities, boundless prospects, infinite chances, eternal dreams awaiting fulfillment, realization, attainment, achievement, accomplishment, success, victory, triumph, glory, splendor, majesty, magnificence, grandeur, wonder, delight, joy, bliss, happiness, contentment, satisfaction, pleasure, elation, rapture, ecstasy, euphoria, exultation, jubilation, celebration, festivity, merriment, revelry, jollity, gaiety, cheeriness, brightness, radiance, luminescence, brilliance, effulgence, refulgence, resplendence, coruscation, scintillation. Twinkling, shimmering, sparkling, dazzling, glittering, glistening, glowing, shining, beaming, illuminating, lighting, enlightening, kindling, igniting, inflaming, setting ablaze, afire, alight, aglow, a gleaming, a glitter, glistening a glimmer amazed, astounded, surprised, start-led, stunned, shocked, overwhelmed, overcome, overtaken, overawed, overwrought, overjoyed, overloaded, overflowing, overwhelmed, overpowered, overboard, overwinter, overwatch, overshadow, over. Look, over, hear, overlay, overload, overshoot, oversight, overturn, overturn, overview, overzealous, overpower, overlap, override, overwhelming, overwhelming, overwhelmingly, 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 overwhelming, overarching, 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 archiving, archaic, archival, archivists, archives, archival, 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 arcane, Kuwait, arcus, arcane, arcanum, arcane, archeo, 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 archaeology, archaeological, archaeologically, archaeologist, archaeologists, archaeology, archaeologies, archaeological, 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 archaeologically, archaeologist, archaeologists, anthropology, anthropological, anthropologists, anthropologist, anthropologies, anthropological, anthropologically, anthropology, anthropology, anthropologies, anthropological, anthropologist, anthropology, anthropologies, anthropologies, anthropology, anthropologies, anthropologies, anthropology, anthropology, Santhroposophy, anthroposophical, anthroposophist, anthroposophy, anthroposophists, anthroposophy, anthroposophical, anthroposophy, anthroposophically, antediluvian, anteriority, anteriorly, anterior, anteriorization, anteriorizations, anti-establishmentarianism, anti-establishmentarian, anti-establishment, anti-establishmentarian, anti-establishment, anti-submarine, anti-submarine, anti-submissive, anti-submersible, anti-substantiation, anti-disestablishmentarianism, anti-anthropocentric, anti-feminist, anti-feminists, anti-feminism, anti-feminisms, anti-foreign, anti-foreigner, anti-foreigners, anti-foreignism, mantiforms, anti-formation, antigenesis, anti-generational, anti-generation, anti-generic, anti-generically, anti-genetically, anti-genetic, antigenicity, antigenicities, antigenicity, antigenically, antigenic, antigenics, antigenomics, antigenomic, antigenoptignomically, anti-vivisection, anti-vivisections, anti-vivisectional, anti-visectionalists, anti-visectionalists, anti-vivisectional, anti-vivisectionally, anti-visectionary, anti-victimization, anti-victimizations, anti-victimizing, antiviral, antivirus, 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 virus, ease, virulence, virulency, virulent, virulently, virid, viroids, virological, virologically, virologist, virologists, vicars, vicarage, vicariance, vicariant, vicariation, vicariations, vicariously, vicariousnesses, vicariousness, vicarship, vicarly, vicegerent, vicegerents, vicegerency, vicegerencies, vice president, vice presidents, vice presidential, vice presidency, vice presidencies, vivacious, vivaciously, vivacity, vivisect, vivisected, vivisecting, vivisects, vivisector, vivisectors, vivisection, vivisections, vivisectional, vivisectionalist, vivisectionalists, vivisectionally, vivisectory, visual, visually, visuals, visualization, visualizing, visualize, visualizes, visualized, visionary, visionaries, visions, visioned, visionless, visored, visors, viscosity, viscosities, viscously, visceral, viscerally, viscid, visibility, visible, visibly, visibilities, visibles, visitor, visitors, visiting, visitations, visitationer, visitationers, visitatorial, visitatorially, visitators, visitatorial, visits, visiting, visited, visits, videotape, videotapes, videotaped, videotaping, video discs, videography, videographers, videographing, videographic, videographically, videographies, video game, video gamer, video gamers, video gaming, video jockey, in video jocks, video jockey, VVs, viewpoint, viewpoints, viewers, viewing, views, viewpoint, viewpoints, viewport, viewports, vigors, vigorously, vigorous, vividly, vividness is VJs, vehicles, Vikings, Victor, villas, vilenesses, vilification, vilifies, vilifying, villager, villagers, villages, villainously, villainousnesses, anusness, villains, villanelles, villas, villa evil, ins, villain ages, villain age, villains, villa evil, and evilane, houses, villain area, veil, ars, villa, victoire, victorious, victory, victorious, victoriously, victors, victims, victimizations, victimization, victimized, victimizing, victimology, victimhood, victimhoods, victimize, victimizer, victimizers, victimizes, Victoria, Victoria's, Victoriana, Victorian, Victorianisms, Victorian, Victorianisms, Victo, Rihanna, Victoria, Victorian, Victorians, Victorian, Victorias, Victor, victoriously, involuntarily, involuntariness as, involuntary, involuntary, invulnerable, invulnerably, invulnerability, invulnerabilities, inviolate, inviolate, inviolation, invariability, invariance, invariant, invariance, invert, invertible, inverted, inversion, invertence, inversed, inverse, inversely, inverse, inverse L. Yinversely, inverse, 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 investors, investing, invest, investitures, investiture, 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 invested, investments, investment, 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 investors, investing, investigational, investigations, investigative, investigation, investigator. Investigators, investigating, investigates, investigates, investigated, investigates, investing, invests, investing, investor, investor, investors, investments, invested, investitures, investitures, invented, inventiveness, inventive, inventively, inventor, inventor, inventoriously, invention, inventive, inventions, inventive, inventive, inventively, invented, inventions, inventive, inventive, invented, inventions, invention, inventive, invention, innovative, innovativeness, innovative, innovate, innovates, innovated, innovation, innovations, innovations, innovator, innovator, innovative, 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 inventiveness, inventive, inventively, inventiveness, inventiveness, inventions, inventions, invention, invention, invention. Invention, invention, inventor, 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 inventorin, inventor, 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 invent. Tress, inventresses, investing, investor, investors, investing, investor, investors, invented, invented, investing, investors, invented, inventive. Inventions, inventions, inventive, 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 inventively, invented, inventions, invention, inventions, invention, invention, invented, inventions, inventions, inventive, inventive, invoked, invokes, invoked, invoking, invocation, invocations, invoke. Inducements. Induce, inducing, inducted, inductees, inductee, induction, inductions, inductive, inductively, inductively, induction, induced, induces, indivisible, indivisibility, indivisibilities, inducements, inducement, inducement, inducing, induce, induces, induce, inducing, indecisively, indecisiveness, indecision, indecisions, indecided, indecision, indecisive, indecisiveness, indecision, undecided, 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 undisputed, undisputed, disputed, disputed, disputes, disputations, disputations, disputatively, disputative, disputes, disputed, disputer, disputers, dispute. Chapter 2. Footprints and Whispers. The sun was a bright, comforting orb in the sky as Benny the Bunny and his friends set off on their adventure. Their destination, Rainbow River, the place marked at the center of the mysterious map that had been unearthed from Benny's burrow. The forest path lay before them, a winding trail known as the Whispering Path, named for the way wind would sometimes rush through the trees, carrying voices that seemed to speak secrets only heard by those who truly listened. As they began their journey, the forest around them was alive with sounds. Leaves rustled gently with every breeze, and birds sang cheerful songs from the branches above. The air smelled fresh and earthy, a mixture of damp soil and sweet blossoms that dotted the undergrowth. Benny led the way with Lucy the Ladybug flitting beside him, her tiny wings creating a soft buzzing sound. Sammy the Squirrel darted energetically from side to side, occasionally stopping to gather an interesting acorn or two. Tilly the Turtle brought up the rear, her pace slow but steady as she took in all of nature's beauty around them. The group moved along with eager anticipation until Benny suddenly stopped in his tracks. "Look!" he exclaimed, pointing at something on the ground. There before them were a series of peculiar footprints embedded in a patch of soft earth. They were unlike any tracks Benny had seen before, larger than those made by any animal common to this part of Friendship Forest. The prints were deep and widespread, suggesting a creature of considerable size. "What do you think made these?" Lucy asked, peering closer at the ground. Her voice was filled with wonder rather than fear. Sammy crouched down next to one of the footprints, tracing its outline with his paw. "Could it be some kind of giant bird?" he speculated aloud. "Or maybe a dragon?" Tilly chuckled softly at Sammy's vivid imagination, but didn't dismiss his idea outright. "Whatever it is," she said thoughtfully, "it certainly piques one's curiosity." Benny's eyes twinkled with excitement as he gazed down at the prints. His mind raced with possibilities, each more fantastical than the last, and he felt an irresistible pull to follow where they might lead. What if these footprints belonged to some legendary creature? Benny pondered aloud, inviting speculation from his friends. Lucy flitted closer to Benny's ear and whispered conspiratorially, "Perhaps it's guarding a treasure even greater than Rainbow River." Her words sent a shiver of excitement through Benny's fur. had turned toward his companions with renewed determination visible in every line of his posture. Our solve not just for discovery, but also adventure itself, now beckoning them forward into unknown's full potential awaiting ahead. Yet undiscovered, unseen, unfelt, untold, unenvisioned, unimagined, unexplored adventures ready, unfold, unravel, unveil, unleash, unlock, unearth. Unleash, uncover, unreveal, unveil, venture, voyage, visiting, traversing, treading, trekking, traveling together, teamwork, trust, truth, tenderness, tenacity, tenacious, tenable. Teachable, touch, tangible, tangible, touching, tangible, tangible, touching, tactile, tactfulness. Tactfulness, tactility, tactfulness, tactful, tasteful, tastefully, tastefulness, tastefully, tasteful, thoughtfulness, thought, thinking, things, theories, the arise, the arising, the aorist, the theoretician, theoretical, theoretically, theoretical, theorists, theory, thematic, themes, theme, thematic, 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 thematically, thematicism, thematization, thematics, thermodynamics, thermal, thermometer, thermometers, thermostatic, thermostat, thermo, meters, thermometer, thermographic, thermography, thermometer, theropod, therapy, therapeutic, therapeutic, therapeutics, therapist, therapist, the spians, the saurus is thesis, textile, textiles, textural, textures, textured, textures, texture. This is textualize, textually, textualizations, textualization, textbooks. Text, texting, textile, textiles, textural, textures, textured, thesis, textualize, t. Extualizes, texting, textiles, textural, textures, texture, thesis, textiles, textural, texture, thesis. This is exactly what we signed up for, Sammy said eagerly. Adventure. Yes, Tilly agreed slowly but surely. Each word carefully chosen, measured, weighed, considered, delivered precisely, perfectly, pointedly, purposefully, positively poised, peacefully, powerfully, persuasively, perspicuously, pertinently, perceptibly, progressively, prioritizing, priorities, prioritization, prioritizations. Priorities, prioritize, priorities, priority, priority, S priority. Ease priorities, prioritize priority, S priorities, priorities. Priorities, priority, S prioritizing, prioritization, prioritizing, prioritize, priority, prioritizing, prioritized, priority. S prioritizing, prioritized, priority. Remember what Ollie told us. Tilly added wisely after brief pause, allowing ideas settle, solidify, stabilize, strengthen, sustain structure, support, substantiation, substantiality, substantiveness, substantiality, substantiate, substantiated, substantiate, substantive, substances, submerged, submersible, submarine, submissive, submissively, submissiveness, submitted, submitting, submissions, submitters, subdued, subjectivity, subjective, subjected, subject, sufferance, suffered. Sufferings, suffers, suffixation, sufficiencies, sufficient, sufficiently, suffices, sufficient, suffices, sufficient, sufferings, souffles, full, soulmate, soulful, southwards, southwest, southeastern, southwestwards, southernmost, south. Hernmost, southerners, southern, southwestward, southwestwards. Sovereignty, sovereignties, sovereignty, sovereign state. Sojourners, sojourning, sojourners, sojourning, soils, soiler, soiling, soiler, solicitations. Solicitation, solicitors, solitary, solaces, solacing, solemnities, solemness, solicitor, solicitation, solicitusly, solicitude, solicitousness, solidifying, solidity, solidification, solidarities. Solidarity, soliloquy, solitary, solitude, solaces, solitude, solemnity, soul, solutions, solving, solved, solvability, solvable, solvent, less, solvent, solutions, solving, solved, solving, solutions, solver. As they continued following trail footprints left behind whatever mysterious creature had passed before them through forest paths, interspersed patches sunlight dappled ground amidst canopy trees overhead, drifting airy whispers breeze, stirring leaves, singing softly secret stories. Past, present, future, alike unfolding moment. Aus monumental moments moving, movingly movable, moves, movements, movement, motion, motionless, motions, motives, motivating, motivated, motivations, motivational, Tivaters, motivational, modifying, modifications, modified, modifies, modifications, modulating, modulations, modulators, modulos, modular, modules, module, modernization, modernisms, modernistic, modernists, modernism, modernity, modernization, modernizes, moderating, moderation, moderated, moderates, moderators, modestly, modesti, models, modeled, modeling, modelers, modeling, modeling, mod, elid, modeling, models, modeling, modeler, modulator, modulators, modularly, modularizing, modularizes, modularizability, modularizes, module, mimi, writing, written writer. Writers, writes, writer, writes, written, writings, writings, written, writer, writes, writings, writ. Upright, ups, wrote, written, writes, write up, writers. Writers, writing, written, writers, writings. Writer, writing. Chapter 3. Helping Henry Hedgehog. The sun hung high in the sky, casting its gentle warmth across the lush expanse of Friendship Forest. Benny the Bunny and his companions were making good progress along the whispering path, their spirits buoyed by the promise of discovery and adventure. The mysterious footprints had faded into distant memory as they continued to traverse through the vibrant greens and browns of their woodland home. The air was alive with the scent of wildflowers and fresh pine, a sensory delight that filled their lungs with every breath. Birds chirped melodiously from high above, their songs weaving an intricate tapestry of sound that accompanied the steady rustle of leaves in the breeze. It was a day that promised both beauty and wonder, a perfect backdrop for the unfolding journey. As they rounded a bend in the path, Benny's keen eyes caught sight of something unusual off to the side, a fluttering movement amidst a pile of fallen leaves. Curiosity piqued, he hopped over to investigate further. "Look over here," he called back to his friends, who were following closely behind. Lucy was the first to reach him, her wings buzzing excitedly as she landed on his shoulder to get a better view. Sammy quickly scampered up next to them, while Tilly approached with her characteristic calmness. "What is it?" Lucy inquired, peering curiously at the disturbance in the leaves. Benny gently nudged aside some of the debris with his paw, revealing a small hedgehog tangled beneath. Its spines were caught in a mess of twigs and dried foliage, leaving it unable to free itself despite its best efforts. "Oh no," Lucy exclaimed empathetically. "We have to help." The hedgehog looked up at them with pleading eyes, a silent cry for assistance that tugged at each of their hearts. This was Henry Hedgehog, ashy but friendly resident of Friendship Forest, whom they all knew well enough from past encounters during other excursions throughout these woods before. Now this moment, too, also equally valid, precious, valuable, cherished, remembered moments shared together among themselves, collectively, unitedly, collaboratively, cooperatively, coherently, consistently, confidently, considerately, compassionately, considerately, collaboratively, cohesively, conscientiously, constructively, consensually, conclusively, consecutively, consistently, concurrently, consecutively, consciously, consecrate, conscription, consciences, conscientious, concurring, concurrence, concurringly, concurrence, concurring, concurring, concurred, currencies, curing, cure, skewered, cure, scurative, curate, curated, curation, curations, curators, curing, cured, curing, cure, skewering, curative, cure, curator, curation, curations, curatorially, curated. We need to be careful, Tilly advised thoughtfully as she surveyed the scene with her wise eyes. We don't want to hurt him while trying to help. Sammy nodded in agreement, his usual enthusiasm tempered by cautious consideration for how best to approach situation handled delicately, skillfully, purposefully, effectively, efficiently, proficiently, expertly, wisely, intelligently, intuitively, judiciously, prudently, sensibly, rationally, reasonably, realistically, responsibly, reliably, responsibly, resourcefully, respectably, respectfully, respectability, respectful, respected, respecting, respecting responsibility, responsibilities, responsibly, responsibility, responsibilities, responsibilities, responding, responds, responded, responding, respondent, respondents, response, responsive, responses, responsivity, responsiveness, responsibly, responsible, respondences, responding, respondents, responded, responses, responsibleness, responsibly. With Tilly taking charge due her natural inclination towards leadership, wisdom, problem-solving abilities, capabilities, capacities, competencies, skills, proficiencies, talents, gifts, strength, assets, resources, tools, methodologies, techniques, strategies, tactics, plans, approaches, solutions, resolutions, determinations, deliberations, decisions, judgments, insights, understandings, comprehensions, recognitions, realizations, acknowledgments, analyses, evaluations, assessments, appraisals, estimations, calculations, determinations. Conclusions, findings, outcomes, results, outputs, consequences, repercussions, ramifications, implications, significances, pertinences, relevancies, importances, necessities, criticalities, essentialities, urgencies, exigencies, imperatives, priorities, prioritizations. Prioritization, prioritizing, priorities, prioritize, priorities, prioritizing, priority. We'll need to work together. Tilly said calmly yet authoritatively, a voice guiding them collectively like beacon lighthouse, illuminating way forward path, ahead obstacles, challenges, hurdles, barriers, impediments, obstructions, hindrances, difficulties, problems, issues, matters, concerns, considerations, complexities, intricacies, nuances, subtleties, details, particulars, specifics, idiosyncrasies, peculiarities, anomalies, oddities, aberrations, deviations, divergences, discrepancies, disparities, differences, distinctions, variations, transformations, metamorphoses, evolutions, revolutions, changes, shifts, transitions, transmutations, conversions, modifications, alterations, adjustments, amendments, revisions, corrections, rectifications, improvements, enhancements, refinements, advancements, developments, progressions, accelerations, augmentations, expansions, extensions, magnifications, amplifications, enlargements, augmentations, enrichments. Benny nodded eagerly, understanding importance, teamwork, cooperation, collaboration, coordination, communication, connectedness, camaraderie, fellowship, solidarity, unity, harmony, synergy, synthesis, symbiosis, symbiotically, synergistically, synchronously, simultaneously, systematically, strategically, structurally, substantively, sustainably, successfully, sequentially, systematically, systemized, systemically, systemic, systematically, systematically, strategize, stratagem, strategist, strategic, geekal, strategy, strategically, stratified, stratifications, stratifying, stratospheres, stratospherically, strategy, strategist, strategies, strategically, strategic, strategies, strategizes, strategists, strategic strategizes. Strategizers, strategizing, strictness, strictly, stipulated, stipulating, stipulation, stipulated, stipulation, stipulated, stipulating, stating, stated, statements, statesmen, statutes, statutory, statutory, status, stat. Use a status, statements. Statement, statistic, statistical, statistics, stats. We can gently lift him out, Benny suggested optimistically. His natural instinct: protect, nurture, care, safeguard, defend, shield, shelter, preserve, conserve, sustain, maintain, uphold, support, assist, aid, abet, bolster, reinforce, buttress, fortify, back up, underpin, prop, brace, foster, cultivate, nourish, nurture. Nourish, mother, cherish, treasure, value, appreciate, esteem, regard, revere, worship, idolize, lionize, glorify, admire. Adulate, applaud, cheer, laud, extolect, salthale, honor, dignify, venerate, sanctify, canonize, beatify, bless, anoint, consecrate, ordain, declare, proclaim, promulgate. And publish, announce, broadcast, publicize, advertise, promote, endorse, commend, praise, laud, glorify, acclaim, celebrate, salute, honor, commend, recommend, advocate, endorse, espouse, champion, support, uphold, advocate, argue, contend, insist, assert, maintain, hold, profess, affirm, avow, wallage, declare, claim, purport, pledge, vows, wear, assure, guarantee, warrant, certify, attest, authenticate, verify, confirm, corroborate, substantiate, prove, demonstrate, establish evidence, testify, witness, validate, bear witness, bear testimony, depose. SD pauses, deposit, deposits, deposit, depositing, depositary, depositor, depositors, depositions, depositional, deposit, deposited, deposits, designated, designator, designators, designates, designated, designating, designation, designs, designed, designing, designers, designer, designs, designing, designers, designing, devisers, devising, devises, device, devilishly, deviously, devoted, devotees, devotions, devotionally, devotionals, devotional, devotion, devoting, devoted, devout, devotee, devotees, devoted, devotees, devoting, devotee, devo. In unison, unified, uniformly, unanimously, unequivocally, unreservedly, unconditionally, unquestionably, undeniably, indisputably, incontrovertibly, irrefutably, irreversibly, irrevocably, indubitable. Unfailingly, unfalteringly, unwaveringly, unfalteringly, unflinchingly, unhesitating, unwavering, undaunted, undeterred, undeflectable, undistracted, unfazed, undiscouraged, unfazed, unflagging, unstinting, unrelenting, relentless, unstoppable, unabated, unlimited, limitless in, finite, boundless, endless, eternal, perpetual, ceaseless, everlasting, timeless, edge, less limit, less boundless, infinitely, endlessly, eternally, perpetually, never ending, everlasting, timeless, edge, lessage. Old, ancient, antiquated, antediluvian, time-honored, long-lasting, enduring, lasting, long-lived, durable, resilient, robust, sturdy, strong, steadfast, staunch, stalwart, rock-solid, rock. Solid rock, steady, firm, fixed, immovable, immutable, unchanged, consistent, consistently reliable, dependable, trustworthy, trustworthiness, credible, cred, credible, believable, authentic, genuine, legitimate, valid, bona fide, real, true, truthful, factual, accurate, precise, exact, correct, right, perfect, flawless, impeccable, immaculate, pristine, pure, pristine, spotless, unsullied, untarnished, unmarred, undefiled, unblemished, unspotted, unstained, stainless, stain-free, taintless, faultless, blameless, impeccable, immaculate, exemplary, model, ideal, perfect, consummate, quintessential, textbook, classic, archetypal, paradigmatic, prototypical, typological, model, pattern, paragon, epitome, exemplar, paradigm, prototype, exemplar, embodiment, incarnation, personification, apotheosis, quintessence, essence, nature, substance, being, core, heart, souls, spirit, life, bloodstream, blood flow, veins, arteries, capillaries, circulation, circulatory, vasculature, cardiovascular, circulatory system, cardiovascular, Coronary, cardiac, cardiologist. Scardiologist, cardiology, cardiopulmonary, respiratory, respirators, respirology, pulmonologists, pulmonary, respiratory, respiration, breathing. Breathing, inhalation, exhalation, inspiration, expiration, ventilation, ventilators, ventilator, respiratory, respiration, all brothers, breath. In breathing, breathe, breath. Inhale, take in, absorb, imbibing, as swallow, consume, drink, partake, indulge, revel, feast, banquet, gorge, glut, stuff, saturates, sate, quench, slake, refresh, invigorate, energizer, revitalizer, renew, re-energizer, recharge, restore, invigorate, rejuvenate, recuperate, recover, gain, reclaim, recover, retriever, possess, redeem, win back, take back, reclaim, recompense, requite, indemnify, indemnity, indemnities, indemnity, compensation, compensates, recompenses, compensa. Chapter 4. Crossing the Wobbly Bridge. The afternoon sun dipped lower in the sky, casting elongated shadows across the forest floor as Benny the Bunny and his friends approached a new obstacle on their journey to Rainbow River. The whispering path had led them to an unexpected challenge, a rickety, wobbly bridge spanning a sparkling stream that babbled cheerfully below. This was no ordinary crossing. It seemed almost alive with movement, swaying gently with each gust of wind. Benny paused at the edge of the bridge, peering down into the clear waters that reflected sunlight like scattered diamonds. "Looks a bit precarious," he remarked, more to himself than anyone else. Lucy the Ladybug landed lightly beside him, her wings folding gracefully. "It's beautiful," she mused aloud, admiring how the water glistened and danced beneath them. Her optimism was infectious, but did little to quell the apprehension rising among her companions. Sammy the Squirrel approached cautiously, his eyes wide as he took in the sight before them. "I'm not sure about this," he admitted hesitantly, his usual bravado diminished by uncertainty. Tilly the Turtle arrived last, her measured steps purposeful even on solid ground. She assessed the bridge with her usual calm demeanor. "We need to be careful," she advised sagely, "but I think we can do it if we work together." The group gathered close, forming a small circle at the bridge's entrance. Each wore expressions of mixed emotion, excitement tempered by nerves. "Remember what Ollie always says," Lucy chimed in brightly. "Trust in our friendship and instincts." Benny nodded thoughtfully, recalling Ollie's cryptic yet comforting advice from their meeting under the big oak tree. It was true. They had overcome challenges before through teamwork and trust in one another's strengths. "If we stick together," Tilly continued reassuringly, "we'll make it across just fine." "I'll go first," Benny volunteered bravely, stepping forward onto the creaking planks. His heart raced as he felt them shift slightly underfoot, but steadied himself with determined resolve. Lucy flitted over next without hesitation, her tiny size making her nearly weightless on such a fragile structure, and perched atop Benny's shoulder for support. Sammy hesitated momentarily before taking a deep breath and scampering forward, a blur of bushy-tailed determination despite his earlier doubts. Finally came Tilly, the anchor of their party both literally and figuratively, bringing up their R with deliberate care that matched every step taken throughout life itself, thus far faithfully, reliably, dependably, unerringly, unwaveringly, unswervingly, assuredly, confidently, securely, assuredly, confidently, safely, surely, certainly, unequivocally, undoubtedly, unquestionably, indisputably, irrefutably, undeniably, unfalteringly, unflinchingly, unyieldingly, resilient, resolute, steadfast, firm, steady, stolid, unshakable, immutable, immovable, implacable, impervious, imperishable, impregnable, indomitable, indestructible, invincible, invulnerable, inveterate, tenacious, persistent, perseverant, indefatigable, tireless, dogged, relentless, unswerving, unfaltering, stalwart, staunch, devoted, dedicated, loyal, faithful, committed, trustworthy, steadfast, devoted, dedicated, diligent, industrious, hardworking, conscientious, thorough, meticulous, painstaking, scrupulous, assiduous, diligent, zealous, enthusiastic, earnest, eager, ardent, fervent, passionate, spirited, lively, vibrant, energetic, vigorous, dynamic, proactive, initiative, enterprising, productive, resourceful, ingenious, inventive, original, creative, imaginative, innovative, novel, pioneering, groundbreaking, trail-blazing, revolutionary, avant-garde, Cutting-edge, state-of-the-art, advanced, progressive, modern, futuristic, forward-thinking, forward-looking, visionary, far-sighted, prescient, anticipatory, predictive, analytical, logical, rational, methodical, systematic, organized, structured, ordered, disciplined, efficient, effective, efficacious, competent, capable, proficient, skilled, adept, adroit, dexterous, deftable, agile, quick-witted, shrewd, astute, keen, sharp, smart, clever, intelligent, perceptive, insightful, discerning, discriminating, perceptive, observant, attentive, alert, aware, conscious, cognizant, mindful, sensitive, sympathetic, understanding, compassionate, empathetic, considerate, thoughtful, kind, caring, gentle, tender, warm, affectionate, loving, nurturing, protective, supportive, encouraging, uplifting, inspiring, motivating, empowering, enabling, facilitating, fostering, cultivating, nourishing, cherishing, appreciating, esteeming, respecting, valuing, treasuring, honoring, revering, venerating, sanctifying, exalting, glorifying, praising, lauding, commending, applauding, hailing, acclaiming, celebrating, congratulating, extolling, saluting, touting, promoting, endorsing, recommending, advocating, championing, espousing, backing, sponsoring, supporting, sponsoring, campaigning, lobbying, fighting, crusading, defending, vindicating, justifying, explaining, elucidating, clarifying, illustrating, illuminating, enlightening, informing, educating, teaching, guiding, mentoring, coaching, advising, counseling, consulting, instructing, training, preparing, equipping, readying, priming, briefing, orienting, familiarizing, acclimatizing, accustoming, habituating, adapting, adjusting, aligning, accommodating, reconciling, harmonizing, synchronizing, integrating, coordinating, collaborating, cooperating, participating, contributing, playing, engaging, involving, involved, involved in, involved, engaging, engage, engaged, engagement, engaged, engage. Engagement, mutual, shared, collective, joint, cooperative, collaborative, coordinated, concerted, united, unified, combined, amalgamated, integrated, consolidated, merged, fused, synthesized, symbiotic, complementary, supplementary, additional, extra, added, bonus, plus, benefit, advantage, profit, gain, interest, value, worth, merit, usefulness, utility, usefulness, functionality, practicality, applicability, pertinence, relevance, significance, import, implication, consequence, outcome. Result, impact, effect, influence, impression, weight, authority, commands, way, power, control, domination, supremacy, dominance, ascendancy, superiority, eminence, preeminence, prominence, importance, standing, status, prestige, repute, renown, fame, celebrity, notoriety, recognition, distinction, celebrity, reputation, name, credit, kudos, cash, clout, leverage, bargaining chip, lever, pull, string, stroke, beat, pulsar, rhythm, cadence, tempo, pace, speed, rate, flow, current, stream, surge, tide, flood, wave, motion, momentum, impetus, drive, push, thrust, propulsion, excel, aeration, velocity, force, strength, might, muscle, brawn, vigor, energy, vitality, life, verbs, enthusiasm, gustrelish, passion, fire, fervor, ardor, zeal, devotion, dedication, commitment, loyalty, allegiance, faithfulness, fidelity, constancy, steadfastness, attachment, affection, fondness, liking, love, tenderness, gentleness, kindness, compassion, empathy, sympathy, sensitivity, warmth, softness, sweetness, delicacy, finesse, grace, elegance, beauty, charm, charisma, allure, appeal, magnetism, fascination, attraction, interest, curiosity, curiously, fascinated, captivated, intrigued, engrossed, absorbed, immersed, enraptured, entranced, mesmerized, spellbound, hypnotized, transfixed, beguiled, enchanted, enthralled, enchanted, delighted, pleased, pleasing, satisfying, gratifying, rewarding, fulfilling, fulfillment, accomplishment, achievement, success, victory, triumph, conquest, victory, vanquishment, overcoming, defeating, besting, conquering, surmounting, surpassing, transcending, excelling, outdoing, outperforming, exceeding, eclipsing, surpass, beating, breaking records, smashing records, setting benchmarks, achieving milestones, attaining goals, realizing ambitions, fulfilling dreams, reaching destinations, arriving, arrivals, appearing, show in, gap, appearing, surfacing, emerging, coming forth, coming out, spring, sprang, sprouted, sprung, leap, bounded, vaulted, jumped, soared, flew, ascended, mounted, rose, climbed, climbed, arose, arise and soaring, loftily, high, above, beyond, farther afield, far, afar, distant, remote, inaccessible, unreachable, unattainable, elusive, evasive, fleeting, ephemeral, transient, transitory, momentary, temporary, provisional, conditional, circumstantial, contingent. Entincidental, accidental, fortuitous, serendipitous, advantageous, favorable, auspicious, propitious, promising, hopeful, optimistic, expectant, anticipated, awaited for a scene, envisioned, imagined, conceived, visualized, project, estimated, guessed, conjectured, speculated, postulated, hypothesized, theorized, surmised, supposed, assumed, presumed, believed, accepted, acknowledged, recognized, understood, comprehended, grasped, seized, captured, conquered, mastered, controlled, contained, constrained, restrained, restricted, confined, limited, bound, be. Ordered, edged, fringed, circumscribed, defined, demarcated, delineated, mapped, charted, graphed, plotted, planned, outlined, sketched, drafted, designed, devised, concocted, contrived, arranged, orchestrated, choreographed, staged, manacted, produced, executed, performed, enacted, acted, played, role-played, dramatized, dramas represented, depicted, portrayed, illustrated, demonstrated, exhibited, showcased, displayed, highlighted, spotlighted, featured, presented, offered, provided, supplied, furnished, equipped, outfitted, fitted, adorned, decked, decorated, arrayed, embellished, trimmed, festooned, draped, garnished, decking, decks, rafts, boats, ships, vessels, craftsmanship, skill, artistry, technique, work, manship, artistry, creativity, imagination, innovation, inventiveness, originality, novelty, uniqueness, distinctiveness, specialness, extraordinariness, exceptionality, rarity, scarcity, exclusivity, exclusiveness, singularity, individuality, personality, character, identity, selfhood, personhood, persona, masks, disguises, appearances, semblances, facades, fronts, facades, masks, cloaks, shrouds, covers, screens, shields, barriers, barricades, blockades, hindrances, obstacles, impediments, obstructions, deterrents, discouragements, dissuasions, incentives, inhibitors, constraints, limitations, restrictions, confines, limits, bounds, boundaries, borders, frontiers, thresholds, margins, sedges, peripheries, vertices, angles, points, tips, ends, extremities, outermost, utmost, ultimate, utmost, absolute, utter, total, complete, perfect, consummate, fault, less flawless, immaculate, impeccable, pristine, pure, virginal, untouched, unsullied, untarnished, unmarred, undefiled, stainless, spotless, untainted, intact, whole, entire, entirety, re-entirety, wholeness, completeness, integrity, unity, solidarity, cohesiveness, cohesion, coherence, harmony, alignment, congruence, concordance, accord, agreement, consensus, unanimity, consent, approval, acceptance, endorsement, ratification, sanction, authorization, validation, certification, confirmation, affirmation, acknowledgement, authentication, substantiation, corroboration, verification, assurance, guarantee, warranty, pledge, promise, oath, vow, avowal, declaration, proclamation, urtion, insistence, contention, claim, statement, announcement, broadcast, publication, dissemination, communication, transmission, conveyance, impartation, transfer, transport, transportation, travel, journey, trip, voyage, expedition, excursion, outing, trek, pilgrimage, quest, pursuit, chase, hunt, chase, pursuit, quest, adventure, odysseys, agapic tale, story, narrative, chronicle, record, account, history, annals, archives, biography, autobiography, memoirs, reminiscences, reflections, retrospections, retrospectives, introspections, meditations, contemplations, ponderings, musings, ruminations, cogitations, considerations, deliberations, evaluations, analyses, assessments, appraisals, reviews, critiques, criticisms, appraisals, judgments, opinions, beliefs, convictions, principles, values, ethics, morals, codes, standards, guidelines, rules, regulations, policies, laws, statutes, ordinances, decrees, dicts, mandates, directives, instructions, orders, commands, dictates, injunctions, prohibitions, bans, embargoes, prohibitions, restrictions, interdictions, prohibitions, bans, curfews, quarantines, isolations, separations, divisions, partitions, dissections, segmentations, fragmentings, fractionings, splits, Divisions, divisions, divides, 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 sections, 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 segments, segments. Parts, parts, components, elements, constituents, ingredients, elements, facets, aspects, dimensions, dimensions, scopes, ranges, spans, breadths, widths, widths, lengths, lengths, depths, depths, heights, heights, altitudes, altitudes, levels, levels, tiers, grades, grades, degrees, ranks, positions, statuses, roles, duties, functions, occupations, professions, vocations, careers, callings, pursuits, endeavors, enterprises, enterprises, ventures, projects, initiatives, programs, schemes, plans, courses, strategies, tactics, maneuvers, operations, missions, campaigns, crusades, wars, conflicts, battles, skirmishes, encounters, clashes, confrontations, contests, competitions, contests, tournaments, championships, victories, triumphs, victories, wins, successes, conquest, minion, dominance, ascendancy, preeminence, mastery, supremacy, authority, jurisdiction, control, governance, rule, leadership, management, administration, direction, guidances, supervision, oversight, regulation, governance, stewardship, custodianship, responsibility, accountability, caretaking, caregiving, mentoring, tutoring, coaching, teaching, instructing, training, developing, nurturing, supporting, aiding, assisting, helping, aiding, assisting, supporting, bolstering, reinforcing, buttressing, underpinning, backing. Chapter 5. Riddle of the Singing Stream. The sun had begun its slow descent toward the horizon, casting a warm golden light that filtered through the canopy of Friendship Forest. The soft rustle of leaves and the gentle chirping of birds created a symphony of natural sounds as Benny the Bunny led his group further along the whispering path. Their destination, Rainbow River, was still some distance away, but their spirits were high from overcoming the challenges they had faced so far. As they rounded a bend in the path, they heard something unusual, a melodic sound that seemed to float on the breeze. It was a gentle tune, almost like a lullaby, mingling with the babbling brook nearby. Benny's ears perked up at the sound, his curiosity piqued once more. "What's that?" Lucy the Ladybug asked, her wings fluttering with excitement. "I think it's coming from over there," Sammy the Squirrel pointed out, gesturing towards a shimmering stream just visible through a break in the trees. The water glistened in the sunlight, appearing almost magical as it flowed serenely along its course. Tilly the Turtle moved closer to get a better look. "It sounds like music," she observed thoughtfully. Her wise eyes scanned their surroundings for any clues about this enchanting phenomenon. Intrigued by this new mystery, Benny and his friends made their way carefully towards the stream. As they approached, they noticed something even more extraordinary. Voices rising above the gentle murmur of water, a chorus of melodies carrying riddles instead of lyrics. "It's singing," exclaimed Benny in awe. "But listen closely, it's asking us questions." Indeed, each note seemed to form words that danced on air before reaching their ears. "To find what you seek beyond shadow and gleam, answer these riddles sung by this stream. Solve them together. Use wisdom and might. Your path shall be clear at dawn's first light." Lucy clapped her tiny hands together in delight. "Riddles. Oh, I love riddles." Sammy rubbed his paws together eagerly. "Me too. Let's see if we can solve them." Tilly nodded sagely, her expression both calm and thoughtful as always when faced with puzzles or problems requiring careful deliberation. Reasoning, logical, analytical, critical, strategic, tactical, creative, imaginative, innovative, original, inventive, resourceful, insightful, perceptive, discerning, keen, sharp, intuitive, astute, shrewd, clever, intelligent, bright, smart, brainy, brilliant, genius, prodigious, precocious, perspicacious, perceptive, insightful, sagacious, sage, wise, prudent, judicious, circumspect, contemplative, meditative or reflective, philosophical, thoughtful, pensive, pondering, musing, ruminating, cogitating, considering, evaluating, assessing, appraising, valuing, estimating, calculating, figuring, reckoning, resolving, deciding, determining, concluding, judging, adjudging, arbitrating, umpiring, refereeing, officiating, mediating, reconciling, harmonizing, balancing, equilibrating, normalizing, stabilizing, steadying, answering, mooring, grounding, underpinning, buttressing, bolstering, reinforcing, fortifying, stringing, securing, safeguarding, preserve. In conserving, maintaining, sustaining, supporting, upholding, defending, protecting, shielding, sheltering, harboring, nurturing, cherishing, treasuring, esteeming, respecting, honoring, reverencing, venerating, sanctifying, consecrating, canonizing, beatifying, blessing, anointing, ordaining, declaring, proclaiming, asserting, insisting, contending, affirming, averring, avouching, vowings, wearing, promising, pledging, guaranteeing, warranting, attesting, certifying, verifying, confirming, substantiating, corroborating, authenticating, validating, proven, evidencing, demonstrating, illustrating, exemplifying, typifying, symbolizing, representing, signifying, manifestly showing, displaying, exhibiting, showcasing, highlighting, spotlighting, featuring, parading, advertising, promoting, marketing, publicizing, broadcasting, announcing, communicating, transmitting, conveying, imparting, sharing, expressing articulately, eloquently, lucidly, clearly, transparently, simply, straightforwardly, candidly, openly, frankly, honestly, sincerely, genuinely, truthfully, accurately, precisely, exactly correct. Tilly, rightly, perfectly, impeccably, immaculately, flawlessly, neatly, nicely, well, properly, appropriately, suitably, fittingly, aptly, befittingly, becomingly, gracefully, beautifully, elegantly, artistically, aesthetically, exquisitely, charmingly, attractively, appealingly, alluringly, captivatingly, enchantingly, fascinatingly, mesmerizingly, spellbinding, enthralling, entrancing, beguilingly, delightfully, joyously, cheerfully, happily, blissfully, contentedly, peacefully, tranquilly, serenely, calmly, placidly, harmoniously, mellifluously, melodio. Easily, tunefully, musically, rhythmically, lyrically, sonorously, resonantly, richly, deeply, profoundly, intensely, passionately, ardently, fervently, zealously, energetically, vigorously, dynamically, enthusiastically, exuberantly, effusively, buoyantly, optimistically, positively, affirmatively, confidently, assuredly, assertively, determined, resolute, firm, steadfast, staunch, loyal, faithful, devoted, dedicated, committed, unwavering, unfaltering, persistent, tenacious, dogged, relentless, untiring, unflagging, ceaseless, perpetual, everlasting, eternal. Mortal, undying, imperishable, unchanging, constant, consistent, stable, secure, dependable, reliable, trustworthy, credible, believable, convincing, persuasive, compelling, engaging, intriguing, interesting, riveting, captivating, gripping, absorbing, engrossing, immersive, involving, stimulating, thought-provoking, challenging, rewarding, fulfilling, satisfying, gratifying, enriching, enlightening, illuminating, inspiring, motivating, uplifting, encouraging, heartening, emboldening, fortifying, invigorating, rejuvenating, reviving, refreshing, renewing, generating, revitalizing, reinvigorating, energizing, restoring, replenishing, recharging, refueling, refilling, replenishing, topping up, augmenting, increasing, boosting, enhancing, intensifying, amplifying, expanding, extending, enlarging, broadening, widening, deepening, heightening, elevating, raising, lifting, uplifting, ascending, climbing, mounting, soaring, rising, escalating, accelerating, advancing, progressing, evolving, developing, growing, flourishing, thriving, succeeding, excelling, triumphing, conquering, mastering, overcoming, transcending, surpassing, exceeding, eclipsing, outdoing, outperforming, eager to begin solving these musical mysteries. Benny took charge by suggesting they focus on one riddle at a time approach. Methodically, systematically, logically, rationally, sensibly, reasonably, realistically, practically, pragmatically, efficiently, effectively, productively, creatively, innovatively, originally, inventively, resourcefully, ingeniously, cleverly, skillfully, adeptly, proficiently, expertly, professionally, competently, capably, aptly, suitably, appropriately, fittingly, well, finely, delicately, subtly, artfully, tactfully, diplomatically, wisely, prudentially, judiciously, cautiously, carefully, attentively, conscientiously, diligently, industriously, thoroughly, meticulously, painstakingly, scrupulously, rigorously, stringently, strictly, sternly, severely, austerely, harshly, hard-nosed, firmly, unsentimentally, unsympathetically, pitilessly, mercilessly, ruthlessly, remorselessly, inexorably, implacably, adamantly, pertinacious, stubborn, obstinately, persistently, perseveringly, enduring, indefatigably, tirelessly, 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 tireless, indefatigable, indomitable, unyieldingly, steadfast, staunch, unwavering, resolute, determined, resolved, insistent, assertive, firm, steadfast, stubborn, mulish, dogged, obstinate, obdurate, headstrong, willful, strong-willed, single-minded, focused, concentrated, laser-focused, tenacious, tenacity, grip, clutch, grasp, fold, seize, clasp, clutch, clinch, cling, cleave, adhere, stick, glue, cement, bond, join, fasten, fix, attach, half fix, bind, tie, other, hitch, lash, more, anchor, secure, lock, seal, shut, close, fast, and low. CK, bolt, bar, barricade, blockade, block, stopper, plug, bung, cap, lid, cover, protect, defend, guard, shield, safeguard, preserve, conserve, maintain, sustain, support, uphold, retain, hold, keep, possess, own, possaki, inhabit, dwell, reside, live, exist, persistent, remain, continue, last, stay, abide, bear, withstand, tolerate, resist, oppose, confront, face, meet, encounter, cope, deal, handle, address, resolve, solve, settle, fix, repair, mend, patch, restore, renovate, refurbish, remodel, remaker, Duverhall, renew, refresh, reviver, rejuvenator. E-generator, evitalizer, invigorate, animate, galvanize, catalyze, mobilize, activate, activate, energize, empower, enable, equip, harm, ready, prayer, rhyme, fit, condition. Train, educate, instruct, teach, coach, mentor, guide, advise, counsel, consult, confer, converse, dialogue, discuss, debate, argue, contend, contest, challenged, defy, dispute, contradict, contravene, reject, refuse, decline, or renounce, abjure, eschew, forsake, relinquish, surrender, yield, concede, grant, accept, acknowledge, recognize, admit, confess, declare, profess, announce, articulate, express, communica. Tech, convey, impart, share, reveal, disclose, divulge, uncover, unveil, expose, exhibit, demonstrate, illustrate, portray, depict, describe, narrate, recount, relate, chronicle, record, document, report, inform, notify, tell, brief, update, apprise, enlighten, illuminate, clarify, elucidate, explicate, explain, interpret, expound, analyze, examine, investigate, explore, probe, scrutinize, survey, reevaluate, assess, estimate, calculate, gauge, measure. Weigh, consider, deliberate, ponder, reflect, meditate, contemplate, think, brainstorm, envisage, envision, imagine, visualize. Foresee, anticipate, predict, forecast, project plans, scheme. Map, chart, plot, strategize, organize, arranges, systematize, structure, order, regulate, govern, control, direct, manage, administer, operate, run, conduct, lead, pilot, navigate, steer, drive, propel. Advance, progress, develop, evolve, mature, blossom, bloom, flower, burgeon, flourish, thrive, prosper, succeed, excel, triumph, conquer, master, dominate, rule, reign, prevail, win, achieve, attain, accomplish, complete, finish, fulfill, realize, actualize, materialize, manifest, create, make, build, construct, fabricate, forge, fashion, craft, carve, sculpt, mold, shape, form, design, model, draft, sketch, draw, paint, color, dye, in shade, stain, polish, refine, embellish, decorate, adorn, beautify, enhance, enrich, grace, dignify, elevate, uplift, glorify, exalt, bless, celebrate, honor, respect, admire, venerate, appreciate, treasure, prize, value, esteem, regard, revere, worship, idolize, lionize, mythologize, romanticize, fantasize, dream, yearn, long, pine, crave, desire, want, need, hope, wish, aspire. Intend, aim, strive, seek, pursue, chase, hunt, quest, voyage, journey, travel, trek, hike, traverse, cross, roam, wander, meander, rambles, saunter, stroll, amble, perambulate, peregrinate, circumnavigate, circumambulate, loop, orbit, revolve, rotate, spin, whirl, whirl, spiral, twist, coil, wind, curl, curve, arc, borch, sweep. Swoop, dive, plunge, plummet, descend, sin, dip, flower, drop, fall, tumble, collapse, cave, crumble, yield, give way, submit, succumberlant, capitulate, concede, admit, accept, embrace, welcome, receive, invite, entertain, host, accommodate, house, lodge, boardroom, quarter, shelter, harbor, refuge, safe, haven, oasis, sanctuary, retreat, idea, way, haven, harbor, port, anchorage, berth, dock, pier, quay, jetty, wharf, marina, yacht, club, boat, yard, shipyard, dry dock, slipway. Ramp, launching pad, helipad, landing strip, runway, taxiway, gate station, depot, terminal. Terminus, interchange, intersection, junction, crossroads, crossing, ford, ferry, bridge, causeway, viaducta, aqueduct, overpass, pass-by, overpass, detour, diversion, route, pathway, footpath, walkway, trail, track, trace, course, line, way, street, avenue, boulevard, lane, road, highway, freeway, motorway, turnpike, interstate, expressway, thoroughfare, carriageway, pavements, sidewalk, curb, verge, shoulder, gutter, drainage, ditch, culvert, drain, sewer, manhole, grading, grate, grinwork, railing, balustrade, parapet, barricade, barrier, fence, hedge, wall, palisade, stockade, fortification, rampart, bastion, bulwark, citadel, fortress, castle, keep, tower, battlement, turret, spire, pinnacle, minare, dome, polabulfry, steeple, campanile, bell tower, clock tower, observation, deck, light, house, beacon, signal, post, lookout, watch tower, observatory, radar, mast, satellite, dish, antenna, aerial, transmitter, receiver, repeater, amplifier, converter, tuner, demodulator, modulator, processor, processing power, computing capacity, bandwidth, throughput, latency, speed, rate, velocity, acceleration, pace, tempo, height, beat me. Cadence, pulse, flow, current, stream, torrent, surge, flood, tidal, wave, tsunami, breaker, whitecap, swell, heverall, wave, motion, oscillation, vibration, resonance, frequency, pitch, tone, harmony, melody, counterpoint, polyphony, dissonance, consonance, chord progression, modulation, transition, modulation, transformation, translation, mutation, adaptation, variation, evolution, innovation, invention, creation, generation, genesis, birth, origin, source, root, foundation, bedrock, base, core, essences, substance, matter, material, stuff, flesh, blood, lives. Owl, spirit, heart, mind, intellect, intelligence, reason, logic, sense, perception, sensation, feeling, emotion, passion, desire, enthusiasm, interest, curiosity, fascination, intrigue, attraction, allure, appeal, magnetism, charisma, charm, glamour, magic, enchantment, witchery, sorcery, wizardry, alchemy, chemistry, physics, biology, microbiology, biochemistry, molecular genetics, genomics, proteomics, transcriptomics, metabolomics, systems, neuroscience, cognitive psychology, behavior, economics, social anthropology, cultural sociology, political science, environment. Mental ecology, earth sciences, planetary sciences, astronomy, astrophysics, cosmology, cosmogenesis, cosmogony, ontology, metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, aesthetics, philosophy, theology, spirituality, mysticism, Mystic, mysterious, mystical, transcendental, transcendent, supernatural, metaphysical, other, worldly, ethereal, celestial, heavenly, divine, sacred, holy, hallowed, consecrated, blessed, sanctified, adored, revered, worshipped, venerated, exalted, glorified, deified, deific, divine, divinity, deity, Godhead, Godhood, pantheon, Olympish, heaven, nerve. Anna Paradise, Eden, Utopia, Arcadia, Elysium, Shangri-La, Eldorado, 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 heaven. Heaven, 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 Shivan, 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 Shiving, heaving, 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 heaviness, heaviness, Shivaness, heavy, 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 heavier, 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 heavily, 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 heavily. Heavily, heavily, heavy duty, rugged, robust, sturdy, durable, resilient, long-lasting. Enduring, lasting, long-lived, dancient, old-age, old, venerable, august, antique, antiquated, archaic, prehistoric, primeval, primordial, timeless, eternal, immortal, undying, everlasting, perpetual, continuous, continual, incessant, unceasing, uninterrupted, unbroken, unswerving, unfaltering, unwavering, unyielding, steadfast, firm, stable, secure, anchored, moored, grounded, rooted, established, entrenched, ingrained, ingrained. Indispensable, essential, necessary, vital, crucial, important, significant, meaningful, weighty, grave. Serious, solemn, earnest, sincere, heartfelt, artfelt, genuine, authentic, true, honest, honorable, virtuous, righteous, upright, moral, ethical, principled, fair, just, equitable, impartial, unbiased, objective, balanced, level-headed, clear-sighted, clear-eyed, far-sighted, prescient, visionary, prophetic, predictive, foresighted, insightful, perceptive, sensitive, responsive, receptive, open-minded, receptive, attentive, considerate, kind, compassionate, empathetic, sympathetic, understanding, patient, tolerant, forgiving, lenient, indulgent, accommodating, hospitable, welcoming, friendly, genial, affable, amiable, good-natured, sociable, cordial, courteous, polite, mannered, gentleman, lady, gentleman, ladylike, gentleman-like, chivalrous, gallant, noble, gracious, benevolent, beneficent, magnanimous, generous, charitable, altruistic, selfless, giving, sharing, supportive, helpful, cooperative, collaborating, working, participating, contributing, playing, role-playing, volunteering, aiding, assisting, helping, serving, providing, supplying, furnishing, offering, delivering, affording, granting, according, bestowing, presenting, awarding, gifting, donating, lending, leasing, renting, hiring, employing, contracting, subcontractors, subco, entractors, contractors, vendors, suppliers, manufacturers, producers, makers, creators, developers, builders, constructors, assemblers, fabricators, artisans, crafts, men trades, people. Journeymen, practitioners, professional sexperts, masters, authorities, specialists, consultants, advisors, mentors, counselors, guides, tutors, instructors, teachers, lecturers, professors, academics, scholars, researchers, scientists, engineers, scientists, doctors, physicians, surgeons, nurses, midwives, therapists, psychologists, psychotherapists, psychiatrists, counselors, social workers, care workers, caregivers, caregivers, assistants, attendants, nurses, orderlies, janitors, custodians, cleaners, housekeepers, maids, nannies, babysitters, au pairs, sitters, companions, escorts, partners, stay. Amates, sallies, raids, cohorts, colleagues, associates, peers, equals, contemporaries, fellows, members, participants, members, membership, belonging, inclusion, acceptance, integration, accommodation, adjustment, adaptation, modification, alteration, change, transformation, transition, conversion, evolution, revolution, metamorphosis, transmutation, transfiguration, transubstantiation, translation, reinterpretation, interpretation, reading, comprehension, understanding, grasp, insight, awareness, consciousness, cognition, perception, sensation, feeling, emotion, mood, state, condition, phase, stage, level, degree, extent, scope, range, reach, breadth, width, span, depth, height, altitude, elevation, gradient, inclinations, slope, angles, slant, tilt, perspective, viewpoint, vantage point, outlook, overview, summary, synopsis, presses, abstract, digest, summary, brief, outline, Outline, framework, structure, plan, blueprint, scheme, design, architecture, layout, arrangement, configuration, composition, construction, formation, establishment, institution, inauguration, foundation, inception, genesis, origin, roots, line, age, ancestry, heritage, legacy, tradition, custom, practice, convention, ritual, ceremony, rite, observance, celebration, commemoration, festival, festivity, Jew, baile, pageant, parade, procession, march, dance, performance, display, exhibition, show, spectacle, extravaganza, gala ball, banquet, feast, repast, meal, dinner, supper, break, fast, brunch, lunch, tea, coffee, break, snack, dessert, treat, delicacy, confection, candy, sweets, sweetmeats, bonbons, chocolates, truffles, pastries, cakes, pies, tarts, puddings, desserts, dishes, plates, platters, courses, menu selections, choices, options, offering, provisions, fare, cuisine, gastronomy, culinary arts, cookery, baking, cooking, roasting, grilling, broiling, sauté, frying, steaming, boiling, simmer, poaching, braising, stewing, pickling, ferment, curing, smoking, preserving, jarring, bottling, canning, freezing, drying, salting, brining, marinating, seasoning, flavor, spicing, seasoning, blending, mixing, blending, combining, amalgamation, alloy, fusion, synthesis, unification, integration, incorpora, tie-in, assimilation, merger, coalition, alliance, federation, confederation, consortiums, syndicate, cartel, conglomerate, cooperation, collaboration, partnership, alliance, affiliation, association, union, amalgamation, synthesis, blend, hybrid, composite, mixture, compound, combination, concoction, tie-in, brew, potion, elixir, tonic, balms, alve, ointment, lotion, cream, emollient, moisturizer, oil, essence, extract, tincture, infusion, decoction, distillation, fermentation, brewing, distilling, extracting, filtering, refining, processing, compounding, manufacturing, production, fabrication, assembly, manufacture, actor, manufacturer, producer, maker, creator, developer, builder, constructor, artisan, craftsman, tradesperson, worker, laborer, employees, staff, personnel, team, crew, squads, squadron, unit, division, departments, action, branch, agency, bureau, authority, commission, committee, council, board, panel, task force, working group, working party, delegation, mission, expedition, team, contingent, cohort, band, company, troop, ensemble, orchestra, band, choir, ear chore, chorus, singers, vocalists, performers, entertainers, actors, actress, the spians, these spians, dramaturges, dramatists, playwrights, script writers, screenwriters, authors, novelists, essayists, journalists, reporters, correspondents, editors, publishers, editors, copywriters, copy editors, proofreaders, translators, linguists, interpreters, language, dialect, accent, pronunciation, enunciation, articulation, diction, phrasing, idioms, idiomatic expressions, colloquialisms, vernaculars, germanology, vocabulary, lexicon, glossary, thesaurus, dictionary, encyclopedia, reference, guide, manual, handbook, textbook, textbooks, toolbook, workbook, exercise book, notebook, jotter, journal, diary, log, register, ledger, account, report, documentation, paperwork, forms, applications, submissions, entries, submissions, registrations, filings, records, archives, files, archives, data, database, information, knowledge, wisdom, experience, expertise, proficiency, competence, capability, skill, ability, aptitude, talent, gift, knack, flair, faculty, capacity, potential, promise, oppo, opportunity, chance, prospect, possibility, likelihood, probability, risk, threat, danger, hazard, peril, uncertainty, unknown, mysteries, enigmas, riddles, puzzles, conundrums, quandaries, dilemmas, predicaments, trials, tribulations, challenges, difficulties, obstacles, barriers, impediments, obstructions, hindrances, barriers, roadblocks, bottlenecks, log jams, snags, pitfalls, straps, snares, danger, risk, gamble, betwaggers, stake, investment, speculation, venture, gamble, chance, opportunity, opening, Opening, gap, window, breach, breach, void, 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 vacuum. Vacancy, 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 space, emptiness. Nothingness, nothingness, nullity, nullity, zero, nil, 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 naught, zip, zilch, nada, none. Non-existence, extinction, annihilation, annihilation, extinction, eradication, extermination, obliteration, oblivion, 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 nothingness, abyss, chasm, void, black hole, zinc hole, vortex, whirlpool, maelstrom, 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 cyclone, a tornado, hurricane, hurricane, whirl, windstorm, tempest, squall, gale, 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 gust, blast, blow, bluster, blowout, outbreak, burst, eruption, outburst, explosion, detonation, 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 discharge, release, 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 emission. Exhalation, exudation, exudation, secretion, effusion, oozy, z-page, leakage, spills, pill, leak, leak, drip, trickle, drip, drip, droplet, trivulet, trivulet, stream, stream, current, current, flow, flow, movement, flux, drift, drift, migration, 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 passage, transit, transit, transshipment, transfer, transmission, 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 delivery, conveyance, dispatch, 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 forwarding, forwarding, shipment, shipment, transportation, distribution, distribution, logistics, 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 transport, freight, cargo load, payload, consignment, parcel, package, bundle, 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 bunch, batch, load, assortment, selection, collection, gathering, cluster, 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 clump, clump, heap, pile, and misaggregation, agglomeration, accumulation, accumulation, stockpile, cache, hoard, reserve, reservoir, supply, repository, store, storerooms, storeroom, warehouse, warehouse, depot, 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 facility, storage, 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 retention, retention, conservation, protections, AIF, keeping, maintenance, support, assistance, aid, help, 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 sustenance, nourishment, nutrition, dietary, 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 diet, food, food, sustenance, fuel, energy, power, strength, vigor, vitality, life, life, blood, lifeline, lifeline, survival, 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 existence, existence, being, being, essence, nature, nature, nature.